I saw this guy's face on the Mail Online and I instantly thought, oh, here we go, a white man. What has the white man done? Something really bad. Has he raped or murdered someone? Is he a terrorist? The far right? Possibly, you never know. But actually, it turns out he has been convicted of sexual assault simply for touching a girl on her arm and her waist whilst trying to chat to her. That's it. Oh, and he also smiled. That's the entire story. And that seems crazy, of course. What's even more crazy, what's more insane, is he could get a maximum sentence of 10 years in jail. 10 years for this. 10 years. So, at the least, maybe 2 years he could be serving for this. And also, he could be ordered to sign the sex offender register. So, his life is now effectively over. All because some crazy feminist, radicalised by the education system and the mainstream media via the Me Too campaign, has reacted to this in a completely crazy way. And this means the guy's life is ruined because going forward, any employer, any other women can Google his name and the first result they see, shy, awkward student convicted of sexual assault. Holy moly. See ya, bye-bye, no thanks. Now, to put this into some sort of perspective, if you compare it to the grooming gangs, or rather the Muslim rape gangs, you can see a clear disparity. So the one I saw, just a quick Google search, was the Huddersfield one of last year. Now, in this case, you had the ringleaders receiving a minimum sentence of 18 years, and that in itself is terrible. It should be 30, 40, 50, or just rather a death sentence. But anyway, however, the other members, they got between 5 and 18 years. Now, of course, they can't convict all of them of actually raping children because of lack of evidence and whatever, but we know for a fact all of these men are raping children, fact. So they can get 5 years for literally raping possibly hundreds of kids, 5 years, and they could be out in 2.5 years. Whereas a white guy who touches a girl on the arm whilst he is awkwardly flirting, he could also get around 2 years. And so we can see the crazy, the insane world we're living in, the anarcho-tyranny we exist under. It's also important to look at the wider impact of stories like this, because even though this one individual guy, his life is over, it also will now change the behaviour of other young men like him. They will see this and think to themselves, wow, if I attempt to flirt with some girl and she takes it in the wrong way, if I try to touch her affectionately on her arm or whatever, I try to talk to her and she calls the police, gets me arrested, I could also be convicted of sexual assault and put on the sex offender register. And they think, holy moly, I don't want that. So what happens is less white people, the end result of this is less white people getting together, less relationships, less marriages, and in the end, less white babies. This is part of the measures to eradicate white people. That's what this really is about. It's putting more barriers, it's radicalising young white women against young white men and making the men terrified of the women, so they never actually go near each other. Some people might say, well, how can this affect the European birth rate? And the point is, it's more than one avenue. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You have the transgender movement, which is persuading many young men to chop their penis and testicles off. And also even the puberty blockers, the hormone therapy, which I believe sterilises you. So once you have that happen to your body, you're not having children, full stop. Then you go back to the Muslim rape gangs, the girls involved in that. How in God's name can they have a normal life after experiencing that childhood? They can't. I mean, many might be able to get over it, but the majority, we're talking lifelong self-harm, anxiety, depression, maybe even suicide. It's not great. And finally, an example could be you have a young couple, white couple living in a diverse area like London or Birmingham, and they simply put off having children because they fear what would happen to them living in that area when they grow up. They might eventually get to their early 40s and have one child on IVF, but that is simply not enough to maintain civilization. And so, yeah, all of these measures are put in place to decrease the European birth rate. And please let me know of any others you can think of in the comments. So, anyway, please let me know your thoughts on this. And does anyone believe that this guy should have been convicted of sexual assault? Like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe. Please comment. Ilu, Sassoon, peace out.